Alright, what's going on, guys? I'm bringing you a little bit of an 8's gameplay in the background. You can just watch that in the back. I get like 40 kills. Pretty solid gameplay. But I just need something to match the commentary topic at hand. And I'm going to do an updated version and probably the last version until the very end of Ghosts of my top 10 players in Call of Duty Ghosts right now. I did one like a month or two ago, maybe like 2 months ago, you know, after like the first 2 events or something. But things have changed a little bit, actually quite a lot, of who actually is in the top 10 and stuff. And pretty much everyone is at their best right now, seeing as Call of Duty Championships, you know, just ended and everyone was grinding for that, you know, in the beginning of the year, seeing as that was the biggest tournament of the year and all that sort of stuff. So I feel like everyone, you know, is at their peak right now. And, you know, the rest of the year is obviously still important, but not near as important as that last tournament. So, I'm going to start out with the top 10, or I'm going to start out with number 1, I'm going to go down. Well, actually, should I start with number 10 and go up? Yeah, I think that makes it more interesting. So, yeah, alright, so I'm going to start with number 10. Number 10, I got Proofy. Now, I know FaZe just made their new team, FaZe Red and FaZe Black. I think FaZe Black could be a crazy good team. I think it's Proofy, Saints, Formal, and Sensor. That's a crazy team. Like, think about the slaying that team can have. I guess Proofy will probably be just running the AR for them. But anyways, so that's a pretty strong team right there. But anyways, Proofy played pretty well at COD Champs. I think FaZe got like 6 or something, so they placed in the top 8. So they did pretty well. Proofy, always a strong player in all the Call of Duties. But you know, I think Black Ops 1 was probably like his best. That was back when he was like winning and stuff. Anyways, but yeah, so I got Proofy at 10. At number 9, I got Saints. Saints played like exceptionally well at the U.S. Championships, like the qualifiers, but he still played pretty well at COD Champs, not as well. But he like went off at U.S. Championships, so he's getting his credit for being in the top 10. He's always known as one of the best players, especially with the subs. So I'm putting him at number 9, giving him his credit. Number 8, I got Formal. Someone who's like, for someone who's like new to Call of Duty and like new to like, you know, MOG as far as like Call of Duty is concerned, you know, he's making a name for himself very quickly, and you know, he's becoming known as one of the best players very quickly. So yeah, I mean, his shot, he's probably got the number 1 shot as far as anyone. If you guys have ever watched him play, he literally like never misses a bullet. I don't know, I'm not talking about like reaction time and all that stuff, all that sort of stuff, but I'm talking about straight on like just submachine gun shot with the MTAR. Like, it's insane. If you watch him, like, he'll be killing people across the map with who have ARs and stuff, and he just challenges everyone. He doesn't care. So I don't know, that's like the most notable thing about him, really. That and his sniping. Like, he's definitely top 3 sniping. Him, Karma, and Clay probably, but he might be number 1, to be honest, as far as sniping is concerned. But anyways, so that's Formal. Number 7, I got Nameless. You know, I put him in my last top 10 and people were telling me I shouldn't have, but if you watch COD Champs, you know Nameless is a top 10 player, maybe even top 5 as far as playmaking, man. He put Envy on his back, pretty much. Let me not say that. I'll say Merc helped out quite a bit. Study was pretty inconsistent, and Rambo, he's just Rambo. But Nameless pretty much saved them quite a few times in that tournament and got them that number 2 placing. So I got Nameless at number 7, pretty good player. At number 6, I got TP. TP fell off a little bit as far as because when the game first came out, TP was just dominating. But he had a pretty inconsistent event at U.S. Championships, but he brought it back for COD Champs and played pretty well. And I think he was number 15 in KD, and being an OBJ player and being in the top 15 for KD is insane. So that huge props for that. Because if you look at like the other OBJ players, their KDs were all negative, like Nade, Bose, all those people. Well, I don't want to like call anyone out, Rambo. All of their KDs were negative, but TP happened to like have a really good KD, especially for someone who was like the main OBJ player on the team. So that was pretty impressive for him. So I got TP at number 6, and number 5 I got Clayster, best AR in the game, has been for the last 2 years or so. Maybe like a year and a half actually. But yeah, man, he's just consistent as like can be, really. He doesn't ever really have bad events. You know, some events he doesn't do as good, but he's always in the top 10 for KD, which is what he needs to do. That's his job, is to just get kills. So he does his job well. Also, he's one of the best snipers. I guess I want to put Karma at number 1, Formal at number 2, Glacier at number 3. I don't know. I don't really watch enough of them sniping to, I guess, to rank that fairly, but I know them three are the top 3 snipers. But anyways, so Glacier at number 5. So number 4 we got Karma. Now Karma kind of fell off. I don't know if I don't want to say fell off, like, but because in the first 2 events he was like the best player. He was on Envy back then, but still he was like the best player. And I don't know. I don't know if it's because he has to switch over to an AR a little bit now. Maybe he doesn't like that, but he's pretty versatile. I think he's been running the AR very well. But I got Karma number 4 simply because he's always like in the top 5 at the end of every event in terms of like KD and slaying and all that sort of stuff. So I mean, it's hard not to put him in the top 5. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I got Karma at number 4, and I got Scumpii at number 3. And Scumpii has finally started playing like the old Scumpii. In the beginning of Black Ops 2, he was playing that way towards the end. When they started having all the roster changes and stuff, he kind of stopped playing that well. In the beginning of the Ghosts, he wasn't really playing that well either. But the last like 2-3 events, he's played extremely well. He's been number 1 in slaying for the last 2 events, I'm pretty sure. Or he's in the top 2 at least for the last 2 events. He drops he averages 30. I think his average was real close to 30. It was like 28 or something like that. But he's been in like the top 3 for the last few events in terms of slaying, and also in like the top 10 for KD. So he's been going off, and it's about time he finally started playing like this again. Because everyone always said that he's like the best, but he hadn't really played like it until recently. So props to him, and because of that, I got him at number 3. Number 2, I got Aches. This is pretty self-explanatory. I'm sure you guys all know who's number 1 by now. Now that I cleared that up. But anyway, so number 2 I got Aches. At the last 2 events, he's been in the top 5 for KD at Champs, which is the most important event of the year. He was number 2. He was .01 behind Krim, so give him his credit there. Just pretty consistent. He had 1 bad map in the history of Call of Duty Ghosts, and everyone always talks about that. He went, I think it was 9-29 on Freight Blitz, and that's the only time he's ever gone more than maybe -1 or 2, to be honest, out of all the matches I've seen. It's like the only bad map I've ever seen. So I mean, 1 bad map out of what, I'd say 100 in Ghosts so far, 100 plus maybe even. That's pretty good, I would say. So, and of course you got to factor in the fact that pretty much won every event except for 1, if you even want to consider regionals, an event that was important since there was no prize money. But anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much it. So number 1, I'm sure everyone knows who I'm putting at number 1, and it's real hard to not put this guy at number 1. But anyways, I got Krim at number 1, and I mean, do I need to say anything else? I don't know. I think he was number 1 in KD at COD Champs. So, and the thing is, I don't know if Complexity even has like a designated Slayer, to be honest. I mean, Karma, Krim, or Aches, or even TP can all go off at any given time. So, and they all just kind of share the same sort of role. None of them are afraid to really get on flags. None of them are afraid, to start slaying or whatever. So, they all really like the same sort of roles. TP is probably the only one who's a little bit more objective based, especially on certain maps. But I mean, overall, they all pretty much, especially Krim and Aches, are pretty much doing like the same thing. Aside from Search and Destroy, obviously that's when they have their designated jobs. But anyways, that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything to really even say about Krim. Once he has one of the best shots in the game as well. He has the number 2 best shot right after Formal, to be honest. And it's kind of weird because they're both like past Halo players. I guess that just says something about Halo. But anyways, that's pretty much it. That's my top 10. I think he did a pretty solid job. Didn't show too much favoritism, I guess, but it is what it is. Anyways, be sure to leave a like rating if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you are not already. Follow me on Twitter. Links in the description down below. Leave me your top 10 or top 5 or whatever you want to leave me. Maybe just the best player you think is in Call of Duty Ghosts. And I don't know, I'll be kind of curious to see what other people think as well. But that was my top 10. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day, and peace out.
You represented us well.
I was attempting to use a sub.